Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you guys how to cut this apron panel. It has the apron right here, and then you have some of the accessories for the apron and some of the pockets. So I'm just going to show you how to cut it. We can use a pair of scissors to cut the apron by cutting really close to where the pattern. And you can cut the whole each of your pieces with a scissors. Okay. Second, you can use a rotary cutter to cut and a ruler for a more accurate cut. This is your main piece for the apron, and you have 4 small pockets, and that could give you 2 little pockets to put on the top, and you will have your 2 big pocket for the bottom, and you have your neckline, your 2 neckline, and you have the 2 back where you will attach it to the side of your apron to tie on your back. To start, we're going to prep our neck and waist tie. We have 2 waist tie, which are the longer one, and the 2 smaller one are the neck tie. We're going to take one, fold it in half, and we're gonna have this with the right side inside. We're going to sew around one of the shorter end and the longer end at a 3/8 inch allowance. So take your piece, fold in half, sew the one of the short side, back stitch at the beginning and at the end of your side, and we're going to sew one of the long side where the raw edge is. And we're going to do this for all 4 of our ties. Again, you take one of your tie, fold it in half with the right side inside, and we're going to sew one of the short side. I sew it at a 3/8 inch allowance, back stitch at the beginning, and then we're going to pivot it, and we're going to sew the long raw edge side. don't forget to back stitch at the end, so that when you ready to turn it out. And now we're going to clip the corner. So I'm just going to cut a bit of a triangle in the corner. Be careful not to cut your thread, like your seam where it is. It should look like this. You just need to trim it a little so that it's not too bulky at the end. And now we can take a turning tool and turn our piece. And you can do this for all four of your tie. And now I'm going to show you another way. You can do it like binding. You can also do it like binding. What you could do, you can take your iron. You can have this fold in half and iron. If you don't want to have to turn it out, you can do the binding method. Then you can open it again, and where your line is, you can fold it again. And iron. And then you turn it around and you fold again. So now they will meet. You will fold the other side to meet in the center where your folded line was. And then what you will do, you will fold it again and iron. So now that you have all four folded, so you have a full line. You fold it once, iron, fold it, join in the middle, and then you fold it again. And now you can sew. You can sew the end, all four sides of it, added 1/8 inch allowance to close it down. And if you don't want to have wire edge, you can fold this 1/4 inch. before you fold all four. You can take this, fold it a 1/4 inch, and then you fold it in half. And then fold it in 1/4. And now no raw edge, and you can sew all four edges at a 1/8 inch allowance all the way around. And now you can do this method for your ties, for all four of your ties, or you can do this method, and after you turn this around, you will iron it. And if you don't want this raw edge, you can fold 1/2 inch in. It doesn't really have to be 1/2 inch. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just flip it in. Just like that, where the raw edge is inside, and you can fold it, have the pleat goes flat, and you can iron it. And then you will take this and you will sew all four edges at a 1/8 inch allowance, and it'll give you the same result. It's all depend on which one you will prefer to do. Now let's get ready to put our to hem our apron. And this is a big apron piece, and I'm going to hem the edge. If you have a serger, you can just serge all the raw edge in your apron, then fold it over and sew on it, or you can just leave it. You can serge all of your raw edge if you have a serger. And then after you're done serging it, you can fold it over a 1/4 inch and sew it down. Or what you could do if you don't have a serger, you can do, you can take your apron and do a 1/4 inch. You can measure a 1/4 inch and you can fold it over and iron. And after you're done ironing the 1/4 inch, you can fold it again, another 1/4 inch, and iron. And once you're done, you will take your machine and sew that edge where you ironed 1/8 of an inch at the edge. Just always backstitch a couple times at the beginning and at the end. And you can do this for all your raw edge. Or what you could do, you I'm going to show you how to take it to your serger and serge the edge, and then we'll iron it. For the second way to hem our apron, we're going to use our serger. And after we're done hemming or serge or apron, we're going to take our iron. If you want, you can leave it like that. But I will take my measurement. You can measure, you can either do it 1/2 inch or you can, and I'm going to do it 3/4 of an inch down and iron. So you're just going to iron it 3/4 of an inch down. And then after you're done iron it, you will take it to your sewing machine and sew this. The edge where you fold, you will sew that at a 1/8 inch allowance. And this is the tool where you can serge, you can hem your, you can either serge the end, fold 3/4 or 1/4 and sew it down. Or you can do this method where you fold 1/4, iron, then fold again 1/4, iron it, then sew it down. And I'm just going to finish hemming it off camera. Okay, now it's time to do a pocket. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do a pocket. The first one, I'm going to fold my big piece in half, right side together, and I'm going to mark, sew in 1 inch, or you could do I'll do 1.5 inch on one side and 1.5 on the other side. Then I'm going to sew all the way, starting at one end to the end where my folded edge is. So you're going to sew this side, the 1 inch, and then this short side at a 3/8 inch allowance. And I'm going to do the same for this side. Your piece, you don't lose your thread. And now I'm going to trim my corners. Now we're going to take our piece and turn it. Make sure to pull out the corners. And now I'm going to take my iron and iron it. Make sure this, where you leave your gap, make sure it's folded in. And now after you done iron it, you will take where your folded edge is. You're going to top stitch that folded edge at a 1/8 inch allowance. Make sure to back stitch at the beginning and at the end. And you can set this up aside. Now the second way you can do your pocket is you will take your long piece and the short side, you will take it, fold it over 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, and iron. You will do that on the wrong side. And do the same for your other end. Not the long end, but the short ones. And now you will take your piece with the folded edge on each side and you will fold it one side and match the folded side. You have the folded side right here and you will match it. And now what you're going to do, you're going to sew this raw edge, not the folded edge, just the side of the white edge. You're going to sew both of them at a 3/8 inch allowance. And now we're going to trim the corners. And turn. After you're done turning your pocket, you can iron it flat. And we're gonna take it and do the same thing as our other pocket. We're going to find the folded edge and top stitch it at a 1/8 inch allowance. Just remember to back stitch at the beginning and at the end. And your two pockets are done. And you can do the same thing. You can do either of those methods for your two little. And now I'm going to take my front apron piece and measure 4 inches down, actually 5 inches down. You can do it however you want. You can pretty much place those pockets wherever you want. But I did 5 inches down, and from the center, I'm going to go 2 inches on the side, and I'm going to pin it down. And I'm going to put the other one also 2 inches from the center and down, with the side where we top stitch is going to be on top, and that will be our opening for a pocket. Then I'm going to move this up, and I'm going to measure about 6 inches from the top of our bottom pocket, and there I'm going to add our little front pocket about 1.5 inches off the center. There's no right way or one way to add those pockets. You can actually add them wherever you want on top of your apron, wherever works best for you. I don't like to put them all the way on the bottom because I'm 4'10" and I want my hand to be able to reach down. And this is our apron piece. And now I'm going to take it to the machine and I'm going to sew the side. I'm going to sew down the 3 side, not the top where we top stitch. This one will stay open. You can double stitch it, or you can do just one stitch down, 1/8 of an inch, and you need to back stitch at the end and at the beginning, so that when you pull on your pocket, your thread doesn't fall apart. So do stitch this line and this one, all 3 edge, and this also 3 edge, and also a little we're gonna do the 3 edge, and make sure to not sew the top edge. The top edge stay open. So to put our neck down, I'm going to measure 1 inch to the side and 1.5 inch down. So that will be 1 inch to the side and 1.5 down. And I'm going to pin my neck. And doing the same thing for the other side. 2 inch down, 2 inch on the side. And you can do it however, if you want a long one, you can just do it shorter if you want. And now we're going to take it to the machine and we're going to sew a square. Make sure you sew it all the way up to here so that when you wear it, this right here doesn't hang. So make sure you sew it all the way to the top of your apron. So I'm just going to sew a square all the way up. And you can also do an X in the middle of the square to make sure it is well attached. So when you pull on it, it doesn't go. You will also do the same thing for the side. I'll also measure 1 inch down and 1 inch to down and 2 inch going this way. So 1 inch, 2 inch going wide. And we're going to pin. And that's the last step of our apron. Do the same thing. 1 inch down and 2 inch going across. And we'll take it to the machine and we'll sew all 4 of our ties at 1 inch allowance. Make sure you sew all the way to the corner of your apron. Your apron is all done and ready to go. Good job on a very pretty apron. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you later.